Well, good morning, everyone. This is Clay Bowman. I'm the Director of Business Development for TAC Insight, and we just want to welcome everyone who's participating today in the Fastway Discover 2022 Virtual User Conference. We're very excited to have put this on for you, and we wanted to let you know that we're sorry we weren't able to do this in person this year. But we are planning next year to have an in-person conference. We did wrap up our user summit steering committee last week, where we had some executives from companies around the country visit us. It was very productive, and we learned a lot. Today, I'd like to introduce you to Ron Thompson. Ron Thompson is over our project management here at Fastway. He oversees every implementation. He has a team of folks that work underneath him. Many of you know him, and he's extremely knowledgeable in our product and just brings all of our customers live and online. And so today, Ron will be demonstrating and talking about AR payments and the new module that we've done within the Fastway environment. And with that said, I'd like to turn it over to Ron. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you, Clay, and hello, everyone. My name is Ron Thompson, and most of you probably know me, but for those who don't, I work closely, as Clay said, with new customers on implementing the Fastway products and also lend a hand in support as well. And I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be with us today. So today I'm going to talk about our most recent edition of our Fastway platform, the AR or Accounts Receivables module. And just to note, I did read the latest version of AR for Dummies, which certainly makes me qualified for this presentation. I'm going to run through a few slides here and then dive into a high-level demonstration of the new product. And then we'll end with a couple more slides and finally open up for questions. Our goal for the new AR module is to provide our customers with credit management, better credit controls, aging, history of invoices and statements, integrated payment options, utilizing our partner basis, and lastly, tax compliance, which we've utilized Avalara sales tax integration to improve compliance, reduce risk, and spend less time managing sales tax changes. When using Fastway AR plus the basis integration, there are many benefits. Those include and are not limited to eliminating double entry, which will save time and money and also reduce errors. Robust support, so dedicated customer support through the entire process from ticketing to depositing money into your bank. Integrated services, and just overall better business management. Some other features include recording payments, customer balances and aging, distribution of AR statements, adjustments in fee application down to the customer level, inquiry screens and reporting, and also refunds. With payment processing through Fastway, here's some of the beneficial features. Integrated credit card and ACH transactions, card entry via web portal, customer payments via web portal using stored cards or ACH routing with PCI compliance, email and text to pay, hardware card terminal support, and card vaulting. And now I'm going to dive into a demonstration of the product. So let me switch screens here. Okay, so you guys are all familiar with the web portal. So when we enable the AR module, we've kind of consolidated AR along with billing. As most of you all know, billing, of course, is where we can review and batch unbilled tickets, and then also billing history where we can do invoice distribution and export. Now, we've expanded upon that with some different menus, and we'll get into each one of those. But before we get there, I want to show you a couple items, a few other menus that pop up when AR is enabled. So under resources, if we look at the customer base now and we edit a customer, you'll notice that we have some new defaults in here for our customers related to AR. So we have credit limit, which is a dollar amount for monitoring, reporting, and dashboards. Payment methods, so different methods customers allowed to pay by. Card, ACH, none or all. We have payment fees that you can apply to a customer as a default. And these fees can be set up under resources billing, and I'll take you there now. So if we go over to resources and then billing and invoice adjustment types. So again, these are adjustments, late fees, payment fees that you can set up and then apply to a customer as a default. So card processing, late fees, one-time miscellaneous fees, they can be set up as a charge by percent or a flat amount. You can give it a rate or an amount. It can be taxable or non. And then you can also set up frequencies for those types, along with grace days. Also, within some more setup for AR, we have customer payment info. So this is if you are utilizing basis credit card processing or ACH processing. You can set up credit cards and stored ACH for customers through this menu. You basically would select a region, a customer, and it would list all of their credit cards or accounts within here. We also have pay to user assignments. Again, this is when utilizing basis. This just allows you to assign pay to accounts to specific individuals within your tenant. A pay to account is an entity, a bank account, something that you would set up with basis. They would hand over to us, and then we would input that information into the database. And then you could apply, again, specific terminals, specific pay to accounts, down to a specific scale operator or other individuals. Okay, so now going back to billing and AR, we talked about billing. The first thing that I want to talk about is balance dashboard. So the balance dashboard, it's the dashboard for the AR module. It's going to list all your customers that have invoices due or outstanding. It's going to show you their credit limit. It's going to show invoices due, balances due, etc. If you have a credit dollar amount within their customer file, it's going to show the credit standing amount. It's also going to show the credit status. So whether they're on account or do not sell, it's going to show you that as well. The payment button here for an individual customer will take you over to our new payments menu where you can collect payments for invoices. We'll get to that in just a minute. And then a statement button, which would produce a statement for that customer. And you could print that off, attach it to an email as a PDF, and send it out. You also have the ability to send statements via our email service that would send directly to your customers as long as they have an email set up in their customer file. So going over to the new payment menu, again, you can click any of these buttons and it will take you over there. So we'll do that right now. We'll just select payment here for Redmond Highway. It's going to automatically query out that region and that customer and then list all of the invoices that we need to collect on or they need to pay. So here within the Invoices tab, this is where we can collect payments and settle invoices. You can select one or multiple invoices. As you do that, it will automatically sum up those invoices for you on the right. You can expand on invoices and see adjustments or tickets, late fees. You even have the ability to remove tickets. Once you've selected the invoices you want to pay or settle, then you can choose the payment method. So whether it's a cash, check, card, or ACH, you can select that. You could also, I believe, you also have the option to increase payment amount if overpaying right here. So you could do, if they were paying $3,000, you could add that in there and then it would show an overpayment amount. And then you could apply that to credit or as a refund. You would give it a payment date, optional reference number, payment note, and then create payment, which you would confirm, and then it would create a receipt for those invoices paid. Under the Tickets tab, this is a way that you can create invoices for cash tickets. So even if they're not part of a batch yet, even if they're not part of an invoice, you can query those tickets if it's a cash order. You can, again, select one or multiple. As you do that, it will sum up on the right. And then you have the option to put in an invoice date and then also distribute that invoice via text or text or email to an individual for that customer. So you can add in a new contact if you like, put in their email or put in their cell, or if they're already part of the customer contact list, then you could select them, create invoice, which would then take those tickets, put them to an invoice, and then send that invoice to an individual so that that invoice would be created. It would come back over to invoices, and then you could settle it by paying on it. Next, we are going to look at the invoice and payment query. So the invoice and payment query, it's a list of all transactions, including all invoices, open and settled, and all the payments associated with those invoices, whether they're open or settled. Within here, you have parameters for dates, batch, invoice number, filters for region and customer. If we were to query out invoices for the last week, see if we get anything. I might switch this region. Let's go back. Let's go back a month. Okay, so we found some data. We queried out the last month of invoices for the Tennessee region. And as you can see here, we have a grid that is searchable, sortable, filterable for both tabs. It's going to list out, again, all invoices, whether they're open, whether they're settled. It's going to give you all of the essential information like invoice number, batch, the type of batch or invoice it is, invoice date, etc. It's also going to show you your balance and an amount to pay. And from this screen, you can print off or reprint invoices just like you can in billing history. And you also have the option to manually settle an invoice directly from the AR and invoice or the invoice and payment query. So if we wanted to settle one, put in a note. You can say late fee is exempt, and then manually settle an invoice directly from here. In the Invoices tab, just like I said, list of all invoices open and settled, button to reprint invoice, and then also a button to update the invoice from open to settled. In the Payments tab, this is going to give you a list of all payments collected for that query. You also have a button to reprint a receipt from here, a button to issue a refund for the payment. When issuing a refund, you can choose a refund method. So if I wanted a refund, you do have the option of a method, whether that's back to the original payment method, or you can apply it to customer credit. Next, we will look at the customer credit menu. So the customer credit menu, you must select a region and a customer. So let's just choose our Redmond Highway example. And within here, it's going to list customers' credit balance based on overpayments, refunds, and other credits and debits listed in the grid. Anything you do within the AR module when you're doing a refund or credit menu or credit memo or whatever, it will show up in here, but you also have the ability to add in your own manual transaction. So whether it's a credit or a debit, you can add that here, give it a description, and then add it to their credit balance. And then last but not least is payment export. So payment export allows for batching of payments and or refunds for the option of exporting a file to mark AR invoices paid in your ERP via a file import or direct integration if applicable. Within here, just like you would do in the new billing, you can create a batch. You would just select the parameters up top. You would query them out. It would list all payments or settlements, and then you're able to apply these to a batch. Give it a batch date, assign it, and then that will batch up those payments, put them in its own batch, and then again, we would be able to export that batch to then send over to ERP to mark those AR invoices paid. And I think that's it for the demo. I'll go back to the slideshow. So AR and payments roadmap. As you know, we are always dedicated to improving the Fastway product, and that includes the AR module. Some of the future developments that we are already researching includes integrating with the desktop scale application to provide seamless payments from the scale house, the ability to select multiple tickets from the scale app for payment, generating invoice and payment records from the scale app back to the web portal, and the ability to check customer credit from the scale app. Getting started with Fastway AR and payments. Now, if you're interested in the AR module, we have defined a general outline of the steps taken, an initial discovery, an open conversation with the customer, a collection of current processing information, if any, kickoff call with Fastway and Basis implementation team members, onboarding, which would be with me and my wonderful project management team, and then a final transition to the outstanding Fastway and Basis support teams. So with that, we'll open up the floor for questions. If you do want to ask a question within the Teams screen up in the top, there is a little question mark with chat bubbles. You can click on that and then ask a question directly into the chat. First question, will customers have a portal to pay from? Yes, they will. So as long as you've given your customer access to your web portal via user administration, you can, they will be able to see their invoices, their open invoices and statements, as well as a way to pay those invoices. Yeah, and on top of that, we do have the email and text to pay. So even if you didn't have, if a customer didn't have access to the portal, or if you wanted to give someone like a cash customer access to pay, you'd be able to email or text them an invoice and they can pay directly from their phone or computer. Another question from Don, are there ways to query a check number for previous payments? I believe so. So when you're collecting a payment, whether it's a check or cash or credit, you do have the option to put in like a reference number. And I believe within the AR query or the invoice and payments query, you would be able to search part of that reference number. I can always check on that and find out, but I'm pretty sure if we can do that. If we can't, I'm sure we can get a way to do it. Here's another question from Pam. Are there going to be reports of what invoices go out and what is paid via portals or text to pay? I'm guessing you're asking for the customer. Let's see. Are there going to be reports of what invoices go out and what is paid via portals or text to pay? So yeah, anytime an invoice is paid, it will show that up in your portal. It will show up in their portal, and they would be able to pay it via text. And I believe once they paid it, if they clicked on the text to pay, they wouldn't be able to pay it again.
We're also going to have a number of internal reports that are associated with the AR module. And custom reporting should also be available for the AR module as well. So there will be a whole section of reports on the reporting server for Fastway that are associated with AR that'll kind of go over all the internal payments you've taken.
Correct. Another question here, can an operator take payments from the scale house? Yes, they can. So we can set up a scale house operator for the web portal, and we can scope them out to a specific location. And then they have the option of taking payments, whether it's cash or check or a credit card. And Basis also has credit card terminals available that you could swipe credit cards or they could just take directly through the web portal. Are there plans to accept payments through the mobile app? Yes. So I think at some point, future development, we will be able to use the app and kind of create the same type of web portal to accept payments. Currently, though, right now, email the text to pay. You click on a link, it takes you up to a website, and you make the payment. Another question here, does Fastway integrate with any solutions that apply check payments automatically by way of scanned OCR? Not currently. We have looked into some OCR integrations, but currently we are not doing that. Another question here in reference to the batch, it isn't is it an automatic number assigned by the system, or do we have our own system of naming, numbering the batch, such as date? Yeah, absolutely. It is. It's a free text field that you can enter in your own batch number or name, just like in the billing and batching of tickets to an invoice. And I always recommend utilizing a date for that batch number, but you can choose or select or enter whatever you'd like. Very good questions all around. Thank you. Do we have any more? Again, if you come up with any other questions, or if you'd like to set up a call with any of the Fastway team members, we'll gladly do that. You can reach out to us at any time, and we'll gladly answer any of your questions or concerns.